Hello everybody and welcome to our 2025 position football preview. I'm Brady Beedon, joined by defensive coordinator, defensive backs coach, former Warrior Antwon Robinson. Coach, how's the summer been going?
Good. That's the best way to put it. It's been one of the most productive summers we've had in a few years, so that's great.
For you specifically, you've got a lot of talent coming back. Now, you had to deal with a lot of injuries last year, but now you kind of get to reap the benefits of that because you have a lot of guys that have played a lot of snaps, and they're all, most of them, I should say, are healthy coming in to this 2025 season.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing is building depth. Over the last few years, Wayne State, we've been plagued in the back end with injuries, but now there is not a starter. It's 1A, 1B.
So what kind of, atmosphere is that like in the DB room when, hey, little mistakes here and there are going to be the difference. There's no clear starter, like you said. How is that built into the summer and then getting ready for camp as well?
So with that, first and foremost, they're all homeboys. Like they're all really close with each other, but iron sharpens iron all the time. So they're also holding each other accountable. Because if you miss a workout and you know that the guy you're competing with, he's there. So we just stack the competition. So,
like I said, a lot of names. We said a lot last year. Let's start with a couple guys like Elijah Folks. I know I said Clifton Buchanan's name a lot on the back end. Talk about those guys to start, and then I know there's a lot more to get to.
Well, I'll start with the seniors. Elijah Folks, he'll be going to a 4-year starter here. As a true freshman, he was a starter. He was kind of thrown out there very slippery rock, and he's been playing ever since. He's the leader. The team goes as Elijah goes. One of the other guys, Clifton Buchanan, he has great strides this summer. He's stepping up into a leadership role. He's really invested in everything that we got going on. One guy that may be the sleeper this year is Chris Gillum. Chris is coming off of an injury, but he's fully healthy now. He's bigger, stronger, faster than he's ever been. So he's good right now.
At the DB spot, the cornerback spot more specifically, who are some guys you're looking to step up and make your life easy as a coach?
Well, the first thing I want Anthony Walk is to be vocal. So once Anthony starts talking, he'd be better. So you got Anthony Walk. Phil Cato had a phenomenal spring, great summer. Amari Haller, he's coming off of an injury. We'll see when he'll get cleared. We also brought in some transfers to help with some of that. Talking about Wendell Smith came to us from Eastern Michigan. Kelly Matthews, Kelly's coming to us from Concordia. Jasir Rahman, he's doing phenomenal, So DeCarlos White has been improving. That room is stacked too.
So I know you've got a lot of quality, but looking at the list names, you got a lot of quantity as well. How do you balance that? Obviously, there are some young guys you got to let marinate a bit. But in this day and age, like you said, you bring in some guys in the transfer portal to an already pretty crowded room. How are you handling that as the DB coach?
Just being transparent with everybody. Everybody knows their role. Everybody plays their role. Whether it's defense, whether it's special teams, whatever it may be, everybody's playing their role, and we're very transparent with them.
So you're stepping back into the defensive coordinator role. What's a Coach Antwon Robinson defense going to be like? What are some of the things that, no matter who you've got, this is what you're going to know when you see Wayne State defense?
What Wayne State is known for, over 4. That's what we always hang our hat on. Based off what we get in the conference, obviously we'd be multiple just because we have so many different people we want to showcase and play to our guys, to their skill sets.
Who are some of the other newer, younger guys that, we might not see them a ton this year, but there's a lot there to work with, and once you get them ready, they're going to be fun to watch?
The first one's going to be Joe Tate. All right, Joe Tate was the quarterback. He played DB at East English Village. Then you got Matthew Evans, who's a big 6'3" corner coming down from Grand Blanc. Makai Lennox Brooks, who comes from Muskegon, so he's going to know football. He's going to be a young, hungry man. Jaheim Richmond, he's smaller, but he's very scrappy. Think Myron Riley.
Okay, so you look up and down your DB board, and you have a variety of guys. You have some guys that are very physically gifted, that look the part, and you have some guys that are undersized. How do you manage that? Because I know in the recruiting process, everyone always wants to get the 6'3" DB that can knock everything away. But you can find some pretty scrappy players that have the athletic ability. They're maybe just an inch or two too short.
They have the intangibles. They have the attitude, they have the mindset, they have the speed, they got the jumping ability, they tackle, they play well in space. So they got some of the things that, make up for height.
All right, Coach, you got anything else you want to add before we send you home?
2 more people. Deron Flowers is an incoming guy from Toledo CC. He's going to be special. And then Titus Lyles is someone that we picked up. He's coming from Mount Sac, but he's originally from Mississippi.
All right, Coach. No, there's a few guys we still haven't mentioned because you have so many in the DB room. Some guys that are going to start and play a lot, and some young guys that are going to have to learn, but you're very excited about.
Yeah, we got Amarion Brownlee, who's been here every day. You know, his biggest thing is he's been spending the whole summer with Elijah folks, so his development is coming along. We got Jonathan Tillman, who's a junior, senior. You know, we'll figure that out. But he anticipates to be our starting corner this year, just based off of what he can do. We also got Drew Rankin, who came in as an early enrollee. So he's been with the team since January. Didn't miss a day. Didn't miss a day. He did spring ball. He competed. So I anticipate him being in the mix. Jaden Bush has been one of the consistent pieces for us, right? He may not have the biggest name in the room, but he's always all reliable for us. Also, Torrance Green is coming back off of double Achilles. To see Torrance this summer is great. You know, the biggest thing is he's getting his confidence back and he's becoming who he is. Then his roommate is Keywan Houston, who, you know, Keywan played some roles last year. This year, we anticipate him to be a major factor in the defense this year. Also, you know, coming with that is Trey Stevens, right? So Joseph Stevens, Trey Stevens. Trey, the sky's the limit for that kid. You know, he plays some corner, plays some safety, plays some nickel, return kicks and punts. There's nothing that he can't do. You know, especially when we get him on campus, it's all about just getting him here, keeping him here so that he can continue to grow. And we also picked up a safety who's been pleasantly surprising. His name is William, but we just call him Lim. I'm not even going to attempt the last name. But he came from Coach Robinson's school, so John Robinson, alumni from here. He came from his school, and this kid is a freaky athlete. You know, that's the best way to put it. You know, I watched him play basketball, and now I got the summer to kind of see him in the weight room, see him on the field. And if he stays the course, he could be very good.
Well, Coach, I appreciate it. What do you want this 2025 Wayne State defense and specifically the DBs to be known for?
Being fast and physical.
Coach, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. He's defensive coordinator Antwon Robinson. I'm Brady Beedon, and thank you for watching the 2025 positional previews.